Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. Now, we have a question here from YouTube user, in my own mind's eye, who asks us. I guess my question might be a little delicate. Uh-oh. Do you believe most employment law attorneys will refuse a discrimination case if the potential client is Caucasian versus a potential client that is black? Yeah. Yeah. I think more than half of employment attorneys are not super interested in those cases. They're higher risk, they're lower value. Listen, they're real, right? Like if somebody, you go to a job site and somebody walks out of the job site and they're like, yo, you effing white boys, blah, 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 blah. You don't belong here. You're soft. You work like fucking pumpkins. You work like pumpkins? What? Can, can we tell that I was going to say something a little ruder and then I tried to censor myself because I'm not supposed to swear on here? Can we? Is it obvious? You work like pumpkins. Okay. Okay. Okay, then. That's fine. That's fine. You look like pumpkins. Um, yeah, listen, that's a claim. You can't target people on the basis of their race. And it's a claim whether you're like, I effing hate black people or I hate um, Asian people, indigenous people, white people. It's all just a claim. It's not reverse discrimination. It's just race discrimination based on the color of your skin. It's just that. It's super simple. That is a claim. Now, for white people, the reality is there's a couple things going on here. People don't get as excited about anti-Caucasian discrimination because there's just not really as much of it. You know, I don't know the exact numbers, but I gather like 80%, 75% of the country seems to be white. Maybe it's less. Oh, it's 60%. Oh, okay. Listen, there's a firm majority, right? And odds are that the majority race in a given country probably doesn't experience quite as much discrimination on the basis of their race as the minorities might. That just tends to be how things kind of trickle down, right? Now, that means people don't see it as often, or when it does happen, they don't necessarily recognize it, or they don't get up in arms about it. They don't get as upset about it. What does this mean for you? A little bit harder. You're a plaintiff, but it's true for employment attorneys too. If you come to an employment attorney, you're like, listen, I experienced anti-Caucasian discrimination. You then have to convince that attorney that it really happened, right? Because one, they're not used to seeing it. Two, employment attorneys get those weird ass calls all the time. Yeah, okay, I did punch the foreman, but I'll tell you, I punched the foreman because he didn't like me because I'm a proud white man. Okay, bro. Sure. Yeah. You attacked the guy. You initiated physical violence because you... Was that coded language for white supremacy? It sounded like it. You get a lot of those calls in my own mind's eye. You get a lot of those calls in this business. That happens a lot. Now, amongst those calls are legitimate claims, but it becomes harder for the attorneys, in all honesty, to hear the legitimate claims because we're so very used to, excuse me, I mean, I don't like to use the phrase crazy. The unhinged calls from folks who, want to shout about the rights as a proud white man, right? I don't have a lot of interest in that. It's not really something, it's two different things, right? One, if you go to work and they're like, yo, we're not going to let you last here. We're going to get you out because you're white. Claim. Definitely claim. Counterpoint. You like to go to work, talk about how white people are better. People don't like that. They kick your ass. I mean, it might be criminal charges because they kicked your ass, but not much of a claim. Not interested in that. I'll tell you that right now, right? And in my own mind's eye, I'm sure you're the legitimate claim, not the illegitimate claim, right? Like, I'm not saying you are, doing any of these bad things. But, like, it's hard to remain open-minded to the good claims for white people when 95% of those claims are people who, dabble in the old white supremacy, They don't burn crosses, but they don't like black bosses, right? You know what I'm talking about. And easy to lose the good claims and with the heavy majority of the bad. Just a reality. Just telling you how it is. Now, on top of that, let's say you convince the attorney they take your case. Great. That attorney now has to convince a jury, just like you had to convince the attorney. And the jury's a little skeptical of the anti-Caucasian discrimination. Judge might be a little more open-minded, but the jury, they're not thrilled. They're not thrilled. Damages. Well, emotional damages might be pretty good if you get yourself a white woman who's been discriminated against, but emotional damages for Caucasian men, not great statistically. Not great. Something about most jury pools in the lower 48 seem pretty convinced that Caucasian men and African American men don't have feelings. Couldn't tell you why that might be, but that seems to be what people think. And here, well, we're implicated. We got the Caucasian men. So you got this claim. There's economic damages. You might have some punitive damages, but like those emotionals might be low, statistically speaking. So you got this firm. You convince them to bring a claim. You convince them that you're legitimate anti-Caucasian discrimination. They got more work to do now on a case, right? Case costs more, has more risk. Case is worth less. This is compelling from a business perspective, right? This is so compelling. Harder case. More expensive case. Riskier case. Oh, lower value too. Cool. It's not great. Now, in my own mind's eye, what I will tell you right now is my firm does bring these claims because right is right. And if somebody's running around being like, we need to slit all these white people's throats, that's probably, if that's happening on a job site, probably a case we should get involved in. Right is right, I think. That being said, we make that affirmative decision, but I didn't really, if I'm being honest, I didn't really get in this business to help people who look like me. I mean, historically, there's been a lot of people who look like me helping other people who look like me. And depending who you are, the results were not ideal for most of society, right? And that's going to be true of a lot of employment attorneys. A lot of employment attorneys didn't particularly get into the industry of discrimination, litigation, to help the folks who might traditionally be picked out of a lineup as colonizers, right? Like, it's just not necessarily what we signed up for. Now, I say all this to give you an honest answer. My firm does take these claims because right is right. If it's legitimate, like it better be pretty legitimate for us to take it, right? But right is right. We're not excited about it. Right is right. You gotta do the right thing. It's a duty. It is a duty. It's like you got to do it because it's the right thing. It's worth less. It's more risk. It's not exciting. I mean, listen, I've definitely had cases where I was like, this, I'm excited about helping this person because there's like some very real, really horrific anti-Caucasian discrimination going on, and like that happens without question. And you get fired up because you want to help people, right? But it's tough for me to go to other firms, and I have, because I'm a mouthy motherfucker, and I'm like, yo, you got to take these claims. Like, you can't just not be taking these claims. Yeah, Vince, I'm gonna go ahead and get right on top of that. I'm gonna have 1/10 the budget that you have at your firm, Vince, and I'm gonna go ahead and take suboptimal cases with more risk that are worth less. How about that, Vince? You want me to? You think that's a good idea, Vince? You think I should just fucking bury my firm right now? Okay, you make points. You make points, sir. Okay, there is some business judgment to not being thrilled about bringing those cases. And listen, we're a little bigger. We're a little better funded. So I get to do things like say, oh, you got to take that case. Right is right. Project's expensive. So is doing right. They don't come cheap at all. And it's easy for me to say, yeah, I'm going to have those 3 attorneys over there go work on this case to help this person because right is right. That's easy for me. Not easy for the average firm, I'll tell you right now. So in my own mind's eye, when you ask me, like, do I believe most employment law attorneys will decline a discrimination case for a white person? Yeah. Often that is the case. Now, they won't admit it, because that could be discrimination in and of itself, not workplace discrimination, but it's discrimination in obtaining services, and that could be a claim, right? So they're not going to tell you, we don't take claims for white people. They're not going to say that. That's not legal. In the same way, you can't say white people can't work here. And that's not legal. But might not be the best treatment. Might not fast track that case through intake. The callback rate might be a little slow, right? Close calls, borderline case. You can't quite decide, take it, don't take it. They're not going to take it because they don't want to take it. It's the reality. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think this is, I guess this is a delicate question. Maybe I'm saying something off the reservation here, and other employment attorneys are going to swarm in and be like, "You're wrong, Vince." But I think it's going to be crickets. I don't think Amy's going to say anything about this. And this is my true opinion of what I think happens in our industry. And I've got no interest in giving you the faults. So, while this might not have helped you, I hope it at least answers your question. If it did, you could consider giving me that like, that subscribe, and that comment down below. You could also consider telling me off. Like, I listen, I said a lot of things here, and a lot of people might not agree with. That's okay. You're more than welcome to start an employment law firm. Put your money where your mouth is. Dedicate your life to it. Get spit on twice a year by angry people. And right the wrongs you want to right. That's your prerogative. If you put the money and the time in, you get to make the choices. So I respect that. I feel you. In many ways, I started an employment law firm because I didn't like how other people did it. So I know, I think, almost exactly how you might feel. If you're like, yo, this effing guy says those claims are riskier I don't like it. It's not fair. It's not right. Okay. Or listen, you could take the other stance. You could be like, yo, this guy's supposed to be helping people of color. He's out here saying he'll take cases for white people, and that makes me so angry. Okay, that's fair too. Post it below. Frankly, listen, I don't think it's a question. If someone is being targeted on the basis of their race, that is illegal. It's illegal when somebody does it in a DEI setting. Like, oh, yeah, listen, we're not hiring any more white people. What? What did you say? You can't do that. Well, diversity is good. Representation matters. It is good for the company to hire diversely. But you can't say, no more white people. We don't hire white people anymore. Did you not read the laws before you made that proclamation? Like, you may want to read the laws. They're fairly simple. There's also some very recent EEOC guidance on this. Seems to be a hot button topic. So, fight with me down below. I'll track the comments. I can't wait. I'm here for it. And if you don't like what I had to say, you got that thumbs down button. I'm fine with it. I deserve it. Make it happen. Take care, everybody.